All right, thank you everyone for covering. We have a terrible, tragic incident that occurs in the food court of the Providence Place Mall. Providence Police are called at 11:35 a.m. this morning for this tragic incident. We have a young 19-year-old man who is stabbed, loses his life, and during the course of a chaotic scene shortly thereafter, Providence Police footmen, bicycle patrol quickly respond to the scene. Regular patrol, we apprehend 4 individuals who are part of this melee that occurred in the food court, and we have people of interest in custody. We're confident we have the person who committed the stabbing in custody at this time. They were all known to the Providence Police, well known, and the investigation continues. So shortly before 11:35, there's a fight. There's a verbal dispute in the food court that leads to 6 young men involved in this melee, in this fight. And then shortly thereafter, there's a second episode within about a minute after the first episode, where one of the individuals runs up to the original group of 4 and stabs this other victim. That's what we have. We're not releasing any names at this point. We're confident we're on the right track. Great job by Patrolman Newton Goddard from the Downtown Bicycle Patrol. They grabbed 2 young men as they were running through the mall, ran out of the mall on foot, and great apprehension. And as well, we grabbed 2 other young men who were involved. So we have 4 in custody. Tragic incident. 1 young man goes to the hospital and dies at the hospital.
Died at the hospital?
Yes.
Chief, are any of them were juveniles?
No.
Chief, those suspects, whereabouts on the property were they apprehended?
Off property.
Off property? On the street?
Yes. The second 2, I'm not sure. The first 2 by the bicycle patrol, off property. They did a great. They were in full-fledged sprint, fleeing the police, and the downtown bicycle patrol chased them and apprehended both of them. All under investigation. We're not quite sure. Like most of the violence that we have, and we say this all the time, whether it's gun violence or in this case knife violence, people on both sides of the weapon know each other. There's familiarity between victims, suspects, and that's true here as well. So it stems from earlier disputes, we're sure.
Were all of them just visiting the mall, or did any of them also work here?
Not sure.
Can you talk about the history of violence in the mall? I know there, with the riot and this, there's been, various incidents. So talk about that, when the last one was, any.
So yes, we had the riot on June 2nd. We had a shooting here probably about a year ago. It was around Christmas time, year and a half ago. We've had a few incidents. For the most part, we all know this mall is very safe. This is an isolated incident. However, it's a really, really bad, tragic incident inside the mall. We're confident people will continue to come to this mall. I'm sure there'll be a ramped up effort of security / Providence Police in this mall, certainly for the short term, and we'll discuss further with mall security long term.
Chief, do you know if this is the first homicide inside the mall?
We were just talking about that on the way down. We believe it is, yes.
When I first got here, there was a group of officers on the top floor of the parking garage on the crosswalk side of the mall here. Any idea what that was? Was that a part of anything in particular?
Not sure, and again, there were several young men. All they knew at that time that we were scurrying around when we first get here is that there are several young men in a melee, and they're fleeing all different areas through the mall. So that's probably the action that you saw by the Providence Police.
Are you shutting down the whole mall or just the
No.
first floor?
Just the crime scene and adjacent area. The mall is not closed. Correct, it's open. The mall is open.
Can you talk, Chief, about the weapon used here? Was it?
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. I mean, it's still very early on in the investigation, so I won't speak about the weapon, but he was stabbed. And
Can you give us the age range of the 4 that were apprehended?
Late teens, early 20s.
And Chief, you said they all know each other. Are these like rival groups, or how do they know each other?
Not sure yet, but we're confident they do. They're familiar with each other from previous to the today's incident.
Were there anyone else up in that area that might have been?
It was pretty isolated and remote, is from what we saw. There weren't a lot of people in the food court, so it wasn't really crowded, which is good.
Are you looking for any more suspects, or do you think you have them all in custody? Or
Detectives are working on that right now, so I'm not quite sure as you asked that question. But again, there may be one we're looking for, but we believe we have the main assailant apprehended. We're very confident.
That area has so many surveillance cameras.
Right, right. The mall surveillance equipment is top notch, so we've just witnessed it, and very helpful in the furtherance of this investigation. And it certainly helps when you have people apprehended to match up what you're viewing on the video.
So, Chief, it just appears that these kids just happen to run into each other.
It appears, but then again, the investigation may reveal otherwise, that maybe, there was a call to meet here. We don't know, but it appears they just happen to be here.
Can you explain how police know them?
Through interactions that we've had. Obviously, our officers are pretty engaged in the community. They know these young men who are prone to commit violence, and that's how they're known.
you talked about the groups. I think you said there was a group of like 2 or 4 maybe.
Yes, yes. Group of 2 and several, and a group of several other than the 2. Not just 4.
Sorry, I saw that they were locking the floor for the County Rockets. Was there some cleanup that needed to be done?
I didn't see that. They may have been, yes. That's it. I mean, it's early on in the investigation. Thank you. We're in good shape. We have 4 apprehended, and there'll be more to report on from Major LePayton as far as who's going to be charged and with what. But thank you.